Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the gentleman from Texas for yielding me the customary 30 minutes, and I yield myself such time as I may consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
Madam Speaker, before we begin, I want to address the results of last week's election. I want to congratulate the gentleman from Texas and my Republican colleagues on the results of the presidential election. For them, this election was a reason to celebrate. For half the country, it was awful. Like so many people, I am deeply concerned about our democracy, concerned that the man who was elected does not care about helping regular people, concerned that people are going to be hurt by his bad policies, concerned that vulnerable populations will become targets, concerned by the President-elect's fascination with Vladimir Putin, concerned that in the face of such a tough reality, many in this country will become disillusioned and disengaged from politics altogether. Like many people, I am worried. But let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to complain and whine like Republicans. I'm not going to deny facts or reality and pretend that the election was rigged against us. I'm not going to create fake stories about poll workers stuffing ballot boxes that result in people getting death threats and having to leave their home. Democrats aren't going to violently storm the Capitol building. We're not going to go on TV and spread lies about voter fraud. We're not going to elevate conspiracy theories that point a finger to blame others for the outcome. And we sure as hell would have no interest in pardoning people who attacked cops, desecrated this building, and treated our country like garbage. The truth is that the election this year was free and fair, just like the election in 2020 was free and fair. Republicans were already getting ready to sow the seeds of another big lie until they won. Then their claims of voter fraud evaporated into thin air. So what you will not see is Democrats try to overturn the election like sore losers. We're not going to act like babies. We're going to take responsibility, and we are going to move forward. And I think the most important thing we can do right now is listen to our friends, our neighbors, and our fellow Americans, because obviously things need to change. But I also want to say this loud and clear to everyone listening who is upset by the outcome of this election. Please don't give in to despair. We cannot change the past. All we can do is to help shape the future. And the hard work of protecting this country from the potentially devastating effects of a second Donald Trump presidency starts today. We can take heart in our small victories. We have new voices joining our ranks in the Senate and in the House, many of them historic and ready to push for change. As our party recalibrates, and let me be clear, we must recalibrate, we will need every one of these new voices on our side. And while we still await the final determination on who will be in charge of the House of Representatives, let me just say that if Republicans hold on to control, we will show up. We will show up for every single fight and every single vote. We will minimize the damage where we can. And while we may not always win, we will slow down the destructive forces that could arise from total Republican control in Washington. You know what, Madam Speaker? If the Republicans keep the majority and the next 2 years are like the last two, maybe we'll have little to worry about. This Republican majority has been the most ineffective body in history. They've accomplished nothing. They don't know how to govern. It really has been a disgrace, a national disgrace. But rest assured, we will raise our voices, the voices of the people who sent us here to speak for them, the people who do not agree with Republican policies, and who voted for us to make sure someone would fight back. Democrats may have lost some races, but we are not defeated. Our values are strong. We know what to fight for because we know what we stand for. An economy that works for working people, a government that serves everyone, regardless of their background, and a vision for a brighter future that addresses the urgent challenges that people care about, like the cost of living and hunger and climate change. And you know, the beauty, let me just say this, Madam Speaker, this is the beauty of democracy. No defeat is final. And where we can find common ground with our colleagues across the aisle and with the President-elect, we will work together to make progress, because our side is interested in helping improve the quality of life for the people of this country. Where we cannot find common ground, we will stand firm in defense of our values. The work goes on, and we will fight for all those who place their hopes and dreams in our hands. Now, if we're talking about the bills that this rule would bring to the floor, H.R. 8446 politically interferes in a science-driven process and potentially siphons needed resources away from at-risk supply chains. H.R. 7409 undermines our environmental laws and blocks public input in the permitting process, which could lead to irreparable damage to our lands. And while H.R. 8932 offers a pragmatic solution to ensure student aid reaches those who need it, let us pray that despite Trump's promise to dismantle the Department of Education, the agency that oversees FAFSA survives the next 4 years so that this measure can actually benefit American families. And with that, Madam Speaker, I reserve my time.